Hello Scorpio, welcome to your reading. My name is Maria and this is a reading for Scorpio Sun, Moon, Rising, Ascendant, Mars, Venus, stellium, cross-watcher. And it's a timeless reading. I have a story on the table. It's a storyline, so you could be at different points on the storyline when you find it, depending on when you find it. Either way, it's a message for when you find it, when you're directed to it. That was the time for this message to reach you. Let's get to it. So we have on the table today a story about you having met an energy that came in with a lot of promise and in some way kind of swept you a little bit off your feet or just made you a great offer. And it could have been anything from a potential lover to a dream job, a contract, a realtor. You'll know something that happened, might have been recently, might have been a while ago. Probably whatever comes to mind when you think about something that came in with a lot of showiness, very cocky, very flamboyant maybe, or could have been kind of downplayed a little bit, but certainly came out with a lot of like, I have a lot of great, I can really woo you or help you or make you a star or, whatever this person or energy was. They came in with a lot of cockiness, and this peacock comes out clarified by the sharing. So they came in with a lot of promise. They had a lot to give to you. It was gonna be really great. They were being very maybe generous or giving. This also could have been love bombing if someone came in and was really into you. But really, the deeper energy was not well-intentioned. It comes out with the devil. And so it was trying to seduce you, and it wasn't gonna follow through. I actually feel like if three cards were to describe love bombing exactly, it would for sure be these three. It's actually a very perfect description of it, of someone coming in and seeming to be like very intriguing and having a lot to give, like giving, but really is trying to entrap you. And this could have been, any kind of dream. Doesn't have to be a dating scenario, could have been whatever. Either way, it was very seductive, and I would assume it kind of hooked you because it just came in with so much promise. And I don't think it necessarily came in with malicious intent. It could have been maybe this person, let's say it's a person, they could have been oddly unaware of their own deception in a way. They could have been somehow innocent, not really knowing what they were doing to you, what this was doing, what all these promises were actually doing to a person of your depth and integrity, let's say, that you actually believed in it and it meant something to you. But because I do feel like maybe it seems a little weird to say that they had this devilish energy and that it did actually lead you down a path that was not feeling good for you and not going the way you thought it would be, and then not knowing about it. But I have this feeling that was actually part of the deception, their sort of innocence in a way, because you're Scorpio and you have a perfect radar for truth and lies and deception, but it doesn't work if the person who's doing the deceiving doesn't know it themselves. If they're sort of not really aware of that, do you know what I mean? You have a radar, an infrared, completely perfect Scorpio radar. You can sense fear, shame, you know, you can feel all of these things, but if that person didn't have that because they didn't know, somehow didn't know that they were being deceptive, they were kind of in a way, let's say, believing in their own lies, that's the reason why you didn't pick up on this. And I'm saying this because I feel like it's answering a question you have. You might be very confused at, but okay, but why did I fall for this? Because usually I know these things. I should have known, I would have known what happened. I think that's what happened. They believed in their own lies, so your radar didn't work because you didn't pick up the clues that would normally inform you that this was a deceptive energy. So out of this situation comes a sort of a death and transformation, or that's what they bring in their wake. They bring this kind of weird energy of destruction in a way, and it really has to do with them having a lot. That was the moth, by the Cosmic Creatures deck, and then the Osho Zen Tarot and the Muse Tarot. These are the decks we're using today, and they come out with the past lives and Queen of Emotion, and so this speaks about them having a lot of maybe karma or unacknowledged energies that you know, just things they haven't worked through, a lot of things that they're not aware about, you know, a lot of old wounds or trauma and stuff they haven't been working through. So they carry this weight of all of this unconscious heavy energy around them and with them into every situation. So some of that was kind of dumped on you, and really they themselves are in a way unreachable. You know, they may be an actual person with a lot of depth of emotion, or that the offer that came in might have some truth to it. There would have been some truth. That's also why the moth is coming up, and that's also why it was that's why it caught you. That's why it was deceptive to you, because there was some truth in it somewhere. But it's just, you can't get to it. So if you look at this incredibly beautiful creature here, it's you can't get into it because it's in front of it. There's all these spikes, and you know, it just looks very venomous, and so you can't actually get to it. You can't actually get to them. You can't actually get to the thing that was promised, that is in actual fact out of reach. It might be there, we don't know for sure. Could be an illusion, kind of hard to tell because you can't get close to it. So I feel like what you did, what you have done, this might have been, as I said, it could be recent, could have been a while ago, could have been a big thing or a small thing. But I feel like you walked away from it. That's how it looks to me. That you kind of you tried to. You might have very quickly actually realized that, oh yeah, this is no good, but not quickly enough for you to not be enmeshed in it. Some of it kind of got its hook into you. So you might have escaped the situation. I just see this as you. Somehow the seahorse always comes out to me as human life, as what we are. Like we're just these little seahorses swimming around in a big sea. Anyways, I feel you leaving the situation, but it did shake you. It did something to you. It changed you, or changed you. It will change you. But it just got its hook in you, and you couldn't just leave it also mentally and emotionally as easy as maybe you could walk away physically, because just too much was stirred up in you. So the process that you are in now, or that you went into, has been about, or is about, trying to figure out what was this, what has been going on, what was it about, what was this trying to teach me, why did this happen, why am I having this reaction to it, why is it not easy to just walk away from it? And it is a very confusing process. You come up with the projections card, and you're trying to, and this could have been a shorter or longer process, could have been very, very confusing for a very, very long time, or it could have just been a little bit of confusion. This one comes out to me as the House of the Undying, very illusory, trying to find out, what's it all about, and what's real, what's not real, what's living, what's dead. But so you do spend some time trying to pull back also maybe your own projections, because if somebody came in and kind of gaslighted you or love bombed you or something else, your own projections will be a major part of that, because they kind of played on your emotions and your dreams and your hopes and wishes. So it was enmeshed, and you've been trying, you are trying or have been trying to sort that out, and you do come to clarity. Right, look, this card, such a card of clarity, like putting on new glasses and kind of getting this perspective that you needed to get. You do find it. And to your surprise, the perspective that you get is that you realize, oh, actually, some of the things that I thought about this person, some of the things that I saw in this person, they are actually projections of something that's true about me as well. So you might have a kind of like a little bit of a terrible aha moment that does trigger some truth that comes with like a death and transformation inside of you, when you realize, oh, that this was actually mirroring something that I am too. You might not be exactly in the same way or as much, but you do get this realization, oh, I actually carry around a lot of stuff that I haven't really looked at, that was stirred up by this. I have some unworked through material, old emotional material that I haven't really cleared out, and I'm carrying that around, and that is actually making me in some ways emotionally unapproachable. And that's actually what this energy came in to show me, and it showed me in a very harsh way, but now I'm realizing it. So you're seeing this about yourself. Suddenly you realize, oh, they came in mirroring something that I am. And so, of course, that would be kind of a humbling experience. And this is a zebra, it looks a little humble to me. So that's kind of the feeling that this leaves in you. You have this incredible clarity. You have it takes an incredible amount of courage to see something that profound about yourself, and you have that courage. And so it is a little humbling, suddenly seeing, oh, I actually thought a lot of terrible things about this person or about this situation, but it does maybe mirror some shadow aspects of myself that I hadn't really acknowledged. And I would assume we all have humbling experiences through life, and I think that Scorpio maybe has a little, has more of them, just because it's the Scorpio mythical journey is a lot about death and transformation, and that is continuously a humbling experience, which also gives the possibility of an incredible ascension. And so and what that also always does to us, it brings us kind of closer to our own humanity and to everybody else, because every time we're reminded of our own flaws and we see very clearly our own shadow aspects that we hadn't been acknowledging, it kind of connects us with everybody else, right? We are mainly, as humans, connected through our fallibility, through our, you know, how difficult it is to be a human, and how we are all failing at it every day. and so I feel like it does connect you to something really great, to everybody else, and to your own humanity, and to just, fumbling around in this life and trying to figure it out. And then suddenly you reach a new level inside of you where you're actually able to discard and disperse a lot of this energy that before was kind of like heavy and very real, and you were carrying it around. See how it's kind of becoming more and more transparent? It's losing its grip because you saw it. You had the courage and the knowledge and the insight and the tenacity and the stamina to see it. And then it's dissolving. So you're stepping into a real mastery in those shadows, because you shone the light on them. Shined the light on them. They're disappearing. They're healing. And then you emerge as this, just reborn anew once again, better, more blissful, more powerful, more peaceful. This is the phoenix rising, as only you can do it. It's you new and better, because this debacle provoked you to clean up a lot of old emotional debris. And so instead of being behind a lot of barriers or whatever this was, you're actually stepping into something much more approachable, and more clear. And the next thing that happens is it's kind of this might be what's about to happen, depending on where you are on the timeline. It kind of wakes up your go-getter gene. Let's say you were going through this process, and some of it would have been pretty difficult, I would imagine, but you rise again. And this rising gives you a lot of motivation, and that motivation has to do with you wanting to build a life where you're not susceptible to this anymore, where it would not be possible for an energy, like this one to come in and sweep you off your feet and and deceive you in the same way, because you've had an aha moment where you realized that you yourself can create the thing. So let's say this was a job offer that came in that turned out to be too good to be true. You're carving your own way now. You're motivated because you're this, so you can do it. So you're carving your own way. You're gonna make that job be a reality on your own. Or they came in with a lot of love bombing, and you're now deciding, I will build a life that's full of love and self-love and community, so that I'm not vulnerable for that kind of energy to come in and rear me off course again, which is a very high level way of going about your life. You come out as the Buddha figure, and of it kind of stepping out of maybe the shadows, maybe these shadows that were very, very heavy and dragging you down, and then becoming somewhat more transparent because you started very deliberately working on it. And then out of that shadow steps this incredible new powerful you, something that supports you, that doesn't work against you. And and you then comes out the Three of Materials, which to me speaks about you actually connecting a lot with a community or with your friends, more with your friends than you did before. And I feel like you have maybe come to the conclusion that maybe some of this happened, you were susceptible to some of this because you had lost contact with your friends or your community for a while, or you were not communing with them because you were maybe very into some goal you wanted to achieve, and somebody came in and said, I can help you, I can do it, I'm the thing. But I think that you're now realizing, no, I actually need to have a good support system around me, and I need to spend time being with that, because that is actually also very important spiritual protection. Having good friends around you, having good community, because they would also, and in another instance, they would help you see this potentially. And it is building up. You could also be networking. I just feel like you're building up friendships or people around you that are really healthy and that are helping you be you, and are supporting you and making you and your life stronger. And then we end on the Two of Materials, which looks to me like you're very blissful, very masterful, juggling life in a much more powerful flow state kind of way. And maybe also juggling light and shadow, and not being afraid of any of them, because you certainly met the shadow and you also overcame that. You know, you stepped out as a powerful, reborn new phoenix. I just see you kind of emerging yourself in life in a very practical way, and just being really motivated and into it. And maybe also, it could have been, maybe this one came and said, oh, you can jump like 100 steps, just go with me and I'll take you directly to the thing. Or, you know, to just this glorious happiness life, whatever. And I think right now, you're stepping into like no, I'm gonna create it, and I'm gonna be really in it, and just really enjoying that process, not having the need to jump any parts of the process. You're just really in it. So it's such a powerful new stance for you, and it's just such a great energy. Like, I see this beaver that's just like huff, 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 like it's really going at it, and it has just a really great energy of you taking leadership over your life. And so I drew at the end, I took out from the Osho transformation card, just deck, just one card to show us what was this about on a spiritual level. It comes out with the challenges card, and this is a story about well, it's a story about the grain, about how if we took the grain or the crops and we planted it in cotton, and we gave it all of the exact perfect amount of water and the exact perfect amount of sun, and no wind and no insects and nobody trampling in the corn, and just perfect circumstances, it would come out empty. It would be corn without a grain, because it hasn't had any reason to develop. But if the corn is sown in the crops are sown in a field, and it has to kind of work its way up through the earth, and then it has to, you know, be very vulnerable and work against the wind and the trampling and the insects and each other and everything, and drought and too much rain and all of that. That's actually what makes the grain becomes the grain, because that's the soulful part of it. The challenges is what makes it grow into this potential of like life and nurturing. And I feel like my language is the language here is a barrier to describe this very poetically, but you probably understand what I'm saying. And this this process has actually been about making you even more soulful. Like it's actually been about enriching you and making you, because it was a challenge. It has been a challenge. It's been one of those things that came in and kind of crushed you a little bit in a way, for you to rise again as the phoenix. So that's what it's really about, and I see you completely doing that. I see you doing it in a way that's just kind of stunning to me, because it's both very practical. It's very practical. You're not afraid to get some dirt on under your nails. You're getting into it, like you're going at it. But at the same time, on a deeper level, it's so powerful. It's such a spiritually powerful thing to do. Like you're really stepping into to greatness, I would say, and you're doing it, and you're doing it in an incredibly actually humble way, like just getting down and dirty and doing the thing. And I believe it's gonna serve you so well. It's very uplifting actually. So thank you, Scorpio, for this. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of it. And if you did, please like, subscribe, share, comment. That helps my channel a lot, so it would be much appreciated. And I'll see you next time. Bye.